Hey, what's up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother, G World 7 Space D. And I'm just sitting here this Martin Luther King Day. And the other day I received a bunch of books I got that I ordered. And I just ordered it the other day, just got them. I'm just going to show them to you and, give people an idea of the type of books I read. Or some of the books and authors I got. I'm not going to talk about all of them, obviously, but I have plenty of them. But just going to focus on these few here. And I'm not going to take too long because I just got the books. Got them all in bulk, actually, in Amazon. Um, right here, Brother Clyde Winters, Ancient Scripts in South America, the Sumerians in South America. And the main reason I got it, I just want to, you know, get more detailed and basically just confirm what I basically pretty much knew about different black groups here in the Americas. This is Mr. Winters. He's from Chicago. I think he attended DeSalvo High School, Chicago State, Governor State, professor there, or he got his degrees there. But this is a good book. I decided to just order it. Just got it in the mail. Decided to get this. Black Pioneers of Science and Invention. And this is by Louis Haber. So I just got this in the mail the other day. It's another one. Right here, the C.R. Patterson and Sons Company. Black Pioneers in the Vehicle Building Industry by Christopher Nelson. You know, I had I had articles on this, but I decided to get this book that I seen. I said it was on Amazon. Let me get it. This has been out for a while. The Lost Treasure of King Juba. The Evidence of Africans in America Before Columbus by Frank Joseph. He runs the Ancient American journal that I talked about before, Ancient American Magazine. So, but this is another one of those books, that I had just ordered. Now I had the original version to this book, and I just got the revised version. Actually, I had the first copy, then I got this, then I gave that away. I gave the second copy, and I read it and gave that away. That was revision updated. Now this is the third copy with a different cover. The first Americans were Africans, revisited by Dr. David Imhotep. It's a very good book. The first one I had did not have that little seal that you see right there, the E Award, Global E Books Award. It did not have that on there. See, it did not have that on there. Then the second one I had that in there. I gave both of those away, and I ended up I want this revised edition. Because the first one I had, I gave it away. Like I said, I read it. Second one I read it and gave it away to an individual. And this is the third one. So I just got it. I'm reading another book now. I've been reading it for a while. I got to knock that out. But that's more of what you call a college textbook that I'm currently reading. I'm going to knock out. This one's by Winters again. Egyptian language. The Mountains of the Moon, Niger-Congo speakers, and the origin of Egypt. Mr. Winters. One of his books here. Black Civilizations of the Ancient World. Empire Carthage by Anu M. Bantu. And I wanted to get a book on Carthage. I have several books on Carthage, particularly in Hannibal. But I just want to get this because it's written by a brother, because all of them are written by non-black people. The ones I have. Okay, this one Atlantis, A Vanished Black Civilization by Gert Mueller. So this is I seen this and I said, let me get this book too, and then read it. You know. Another book is by Mr. Hold off now. Rufus Jimerson. I subscribe to his his YouTube page, and this is called Africa's Hegemony from Europe Middle Ages, Its Collapse and Modern Resurgence. So it basically talks about the black people of Europe and the fall of black rulership in Europe. So I just got this book. A lot of stuff he talks about is on the website, realhistorywww.com. But he has other books, but I decided I really wanted to get this book because I was just homing in on the subject matter of blacks in Europe and blacks in ancient America. Another book right here by Mr. Winters. History of Blacks in America from Prehistory to 1877. A Common Core State Standards History. And this is talking about blacks who were already here, the black European, and then you have Frederick Douglass. So you basically talking about indigenous blacks who are already here, the black European, and then blacks who were brought over here during the slave trade. How all three black people of America are a combination of those very different black groups. And we're not just, quote, descended of slaves, that we are a various mixture of different black groups that are here in Americas. So this is a interesting book. I decided to purchase it because it talks about a subject matter I pretty much, knew about. But it's pretty good to get even more information about the subject matter, to get more detailed on the subject matter. And it's it's a good thing to do, is that whatever we know, whatever individual knows, we need to spread that knowledge and to pass it on. Pass on the knowledge that we know, that we have, to our fellow brothers and sisters. Sorry about that. Our fellow brothers and sisters is the book. Our fellow, aim it. Our fellow, that's a nice clear picture there. But our fellow brothers and sisters. This is information that we should try to learn and know more about. Hold on one second. I'm back. I want to also, these are other books I just got too. Yamasee War. Let's see. A study of culture, economy, and conflict in colonial South. And the Yamasee were a group of black Native Americans, Aboriginal blacks of America in the Southeast region. This is a book I decided to get it, and it's by who? William Ramsey. Just got the book. So Yamasee War. Other one dealing with black Native Americans. The Tuscarora War. Indian settlers and the fight for the Carolina colonies. Let's see. Yeah. This is by David LaVere. So this is another book I just got. So I got all these books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's about 12 to 13 books that I had purchased all at the same time. And said, let me just kind of home in more of my belief and ideology and my knowledge of the subject matter. So, those books I named basically dealing with blacks, for the most part, either who are already here in America or mainly sailed here to Americas and had a presence here in Americas. Not that, and that we weren't always slaves. Yeah, we just weren't slaves. Phrase that. Because most people feel that when you study black history, it's just the emphasis is always on we were brought here as slaves, we were brought here as slaves, we were brought here as slaves. And some stuff doesn't make any sense because you have all those black people in the Caribbean and South America. And yes, slave trade happened, but there are black people already here. And to add on, there's black people who brought over here. And to just say that all the black people here were just people brought over in ships from Africa and ignoring the black people already here in the Americas and just distort our history through the telling of the slave trade is really sad. And it was used to distort our history, use the slave trade as a way they use the slave trade as a way to distort our history of not saying that there were black people already here. And those black people already here were made into slaves. It was reclassified as free colors and stripped of who they were and are of this land. And that should not be surprising for simple fact is that what you hear about in black history is so narrow and limited. The fact is that you would think that if it wasn't for the slave trade, that blacks could never come to America, which is absurd and a lie. But as long as you have someone who has oppressed you, who has raped and robbed from you, stole from you, to write your history, you shouldn't expect anything else but a big lie. And this lie will continue on until we change our mindset of learning about our past. It's not living in the past. You need to learn your past here in the present to build for a future. We need to learn our past. Because if we really knew our past, we will realize that the fact is that what is constantly being bombarded to us in the media is not only a lie and is negative, that's just not us. That's not our whole story. In fact, that's distortion of our story. But as long as you have sellouts in the community who'll do anything for a buck, or what I call a Scooby snack, it's really it's something that we really gonna have to deal with within the family, because we cannot go along no longer having people masquerade saying they're of the family, but then just exploiting the family, pimping the family. And we in the black community need to deal with those particular individuals. We need to shun them out of our community. And by shunning them out or shutting them out, you'll make a message. Because you can't do that and get away with it, because we're really now in a very terrible state. We have people who sell out our community, not only here in America, but globally. With the HMM issue, with the sister, and I loosely would say that, call her a sister, where she had her son. She's willing to set her son up to wear something on a shirt called the coolest monkey in the jungle. I believe that's what the shirt said, the coolest monkey in the jungle. That is really a damn shame that a woman who's from Africa, who should know the jungle, the name jungle and monkey, is very racist. Being from Africa and being they've been colonized by the British, for her to make a statement, or not make a statement, allow her son to wear that. Now, obviously, comes to find out that she's with a white man, which that right there tell you that kid really doesn't have no chance. She's bedwitching. That's what a lot of people call, and it's sad. You don't need to. You don't need to sell out your own, man, to get money. There's so many ways and avenues to get a form of money, income stream, and she don't need to sell out. But she's using her son so she can get that $1,500 check or $2,000 check, little trinkets. And we should make an example out of people like her. I heard I've been listening to a lot of YouTube individuals, and they were saying that we should boycott. One of them was Harvey Superboy. That we should boycott her kid in any ad. And I agree with that. Boycott those stores that her child will advertise for. Because this issue about being called a wearing a shirt that say the coolest monkey in the jungle, that's disgusting. They should know better. And then they were, from what I know, they were marketing that. That was a Swiss company, if I'm correct, a Swiss company. But they was marketing to the British, which is very racist. But I know some of the black people there claim that Britain is not as racist as the United States, which is a lie, because where the white folks here come from. A lot of them come from Britain. Obviously some from Germany, some from Italy, whatever, but a lot of them come from Britain. And to sit up there and to deny that the racism exists in those countries, or is not as bad, well, one, is not as many there as they are black people here in America. But to say it's not as bad, I totally disagree. I don't understand some of the thinking of our brothers and sisters, not only in this country but across the pond, which is why it's so important for us to read as much as we can, look at certain documentaries regarding our history. We should invest our money instead of using our money to buy clothes or some damn shoes. It only takes about $2 to probably make, or $10 to make, but they're charging you $100 for the shoes. We should invest that money into buying books, for our children to read, books that talk about our history, our culture. Yes, it's from the past, but here in the present. So we get that base from the past, what we have done in the past. Pull it here in the present. Then so in the future, we can lay out a groundwork for it in the future. The mistakes we've made, we will not do again. I just don't, to me, that's what our money should go. And not only building businesses and stuff like that, but instead of buying all these fancy clothes, you can get you some nice clothes and at a discount rate at different stores. You don't have to go to no high-end store or pay all that money. You get some nice shoes. Look, man, you get some nice gym shoes or some basketball shoes, and you won't have to pay as much money like you pay for certain name brand shoes. And we're throwing our money away for stuff that will depreciate as soon as you wear it. As soon as you put it on, it depreciates in value. It doesn't increase in value. So our main emphasis is that I'm one of those individuals that buying books and getting to reading groups, getting together, coming together, and to learning about your history and study groups. That is a way to go for us to grow in the future, so we can have that base of our past, and so we can have a great future. Because many of us, like I said earlier, we're doing a lot of things that we're doing because we don't know who we are. We don't know what we have done in the past and what we can do in the future. But we've been so conditioned and beaten down that we believe what's been presented to us on television and what's in the print media, the billboards that you see, or what's on radio, what is being said, because we don't control the media. We don't control the advertisers who are funding these media organizations, man. We need to be more harder on them, because a lot of the stuff that they're doing, like I said with the H&M ad, is just totally inappropriate and just flat out racist. But if we knew who we are, what we've done in the past, there's no excuses for us not to build in the future. We are a great people globally, but unfortunately we're broken off in different tribes, and this is really hurtful because this is not getting us anywhere. We need to get out of this tribal type of mentality and get to more of a global collective, to be more of a global collective family. I said before, white people can argue amongst each other, but they can come together, form like Voltron, to protect what's theirs. But we are too busy hating amongst each other and trying to gain acceptance amongst other people that we'll do anything and everything just to be accepted and just to stab another brother or sister in the back. This is our history. This is our history that I just showed, these books. This is our history. We need to reclaim it back. This is our history, not a $5 Native American history. This is ours. We need to take our history back. We need to reclaim it, study it, get together, like I said, in study groups, take our history back. Well, my time's running out. Happy King Day, brothers and sisters. Peace and love. It's your brother. Peace.